West Virginia got one of the best receivers remaining in the portal, and he didn't go to Pitt.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host, and this is Locked On West Virginia. Thanks for joining in, guys. It's a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be, guys. And here we go, man. We got another commitment on the football cycle. What did I tell you guys? I did a video about it a week ago. I did a topic on it last night or day before yesterday. I said 3 to 5 over this weekend. You can bank on that. I'd say we're on a pretty good track as is. So we'll see what happens with the rest of the Sunday ain't over yet. I might have to do another video today and another video. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money, guys, and use code Locked On College for 50% off your first year. Hopefully you guys are as stoked as I am, just like Raven said. Thank you, Matt, West Virginia. Very, very nice on the $4.99 super chat. So unfortunately, those don't go to me. I turned it off. I don't know why it turned itself back on. I'll let you guys know how best to help me in the future with either Cash App or actually not Cash App, PayPal, if you're trying to give directly to me, because unfortunately, the way they do things on this show is it just goes into a big pot and everybody it's split up based on a bunch of different metrics like podcasting and views from YouTube and how many videos you do. So it's not technically going to me, but I do appreciate the gift. Thank you very much, Matt. And that's okay. Not a big deal. $5, man. I appreciate the gift, but we can, as long as it's not a $50 gift, you know what I mean? We didn't mess up too bad this time. I will do my best to correct that in the future. So obviously this is a commitment that I was expecting, but wasn't 100% sure we were going to get. But once I don't want to say his entire family, but once I started seeing the name Ramper following me a lot, I was like, okay, maybe we got a pretty good shot here. This is a 6'4" wide receiver, right? Slippery Rock, which is Division II. We know that. He committed today, which is May 4th. He visited on the 2nd, guys, so it took a couple days for him to really decide, and I understand why. He had other Power 4 programs in the mix for him, but the best one is Pitt. That's the one that excites me the most because obviously, I'll just tell you what he said. I asked him a couple questions. I said, hey, man, is there any way that I can ask you a couple questions, because he's in the gym right now? And so here is what he said to my questions. I said, what made West Virginia stand out? I said, you're from PA. Any joy in choosing West Virginia over Pitt? What are your measurables, and can I share them? So he hasn't had a chance to get back with me on all this yet, but here's what he said. I'm all about that gritty, blue-collar toughness, hard-nosed playing style that West Virginia is rooted in. Mountaineer Nation is the most passionate and energetic fan base in the country. Who wouldn't want to play for a place like that? I grew up a Mountaineer fan, so I know all about that rivalry and what it means to the state of West Virginia. That's all I'm going to say. Cry laughing emoji. So I respect the answer, right? You know, the very first thing he doesn't want to do is put some bulletin board material out there for Pitt fans or, whoever, right? And I get that. Totally cool. Not a big deal. But I will laugh in his stead. Pitt wanted him, we got him, and I'll take that every day of the week, twice on Sunday. So who is Logan Ramper? Well, he is a not good, but excellent wide receiver out of Slippery Rock, which is Division II. And I've got some numbers here for you. So let me share a screen with you guys on his page so you guys can get a look at him in the West Virginia threads really quick. Those of you on podcast, his commitment pictures are on his X page, which is at Logan, LOGAN _ Ramper, RAMPER. Pretty easy stuff. So here he is. Uh, love to see it. Obviously, he's got a nice look at that wingspan right there. Very, you can tell he's in the weight room a lot. Look at the veins popping out. He's got some muscles going on. That's all good stuff, man. Looks like maybe some fan. Well, this is a picture of him with the West Virginia University jersey on when he was little. That's a Jarrett Brown jersey. So yeah, he's true to form, guys. Not lying about it. West Virginia fan since little. Pitt. Oh man, that makes me laugh every time, guys. Sorry, it may be immature, but I never claimed to be the most mature. So hopefully that's not why you're here. Obviously, I like to pick up, and so we'll come back to this. I want to show, or I want to give you guys my tale of the tape here on this kid. So 6'4", 215. He's big bodied, physical wide receiver with a frame suited for contested catches and blocking, some of the core cornerstones of a Rich Rod offense. He demonstrates really good speed for his size, and he averaged 17.8 yards per catch in 2024 with a long of 60 yards. He's played in 28 games over 3 seasons. He's got 74 catches for 1,165 yards and 14 touchdowns. That's pretty damn good. In 2024, he had almost 50 catches for almost 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's led Slippery Rock in receiving touchdowns, yards per reception, and receiving yards per game. He ranked 36th nationally in receiving yards. He had 6 catches for 123 yards versus New Haven, 9 catches for $120 versus Kutztown, 4 for 73 and 2 touchdowns versus California, 8 for 171 and 3 touchdowns versus Ferris State Cannon Catzer. So in 23, he probably could have hit the portal last year. 32 catches, 417 yards, 6 touchdowns, 13 yards per catch. And he had another game versus California, 3 receptions for 56 yards and a touchdown versus California. So I don't know if that's the Cal. I'll have to go look at that. Let's see if Slippery Rock played Cal. Maybe it is that Cal. Slippery Rock. We'll see. Slippery Rock football versus Cal. Let's see if this is the game we're talking about here. It looks like it's Cal PA, not Cal. Which I mean, I don't even know. It's not one of those things where I paid a ton of attention in my life to it, like because there's so many small colleges that like I don't think Division II teams play FBS teams anyway, but I'm not 100% sure. So obviously the biggest concern that you can have is, I mean, I have to do a weaknesses segment, and I think the level of competition at Division II, although it's fantastic, like we've mentioned on every show, since we have so many this year, I think we'll probably have between 6 and 8 of these D2 guys. Maybe I'll do a show on, or at least a segment on Division II players that have played well in D1, because there's dozens of them, guys, in the last 4 or 5 years alone. And like they're down there to find. It's not like this guy's 6'4", 215. It's not like he's 5'11" or 5'9", overachieving. Like he's a big kid. So, but you do worry about that translating. His route running is something that I think is very good. And I'm really excited to see what he can build upon based off of what's on tape, because he shows some real ability to get behind defenders. A lot of his, that 17.8, a lot of that's route running, in my opinion. So obviously West Virginia was pretty aggressive in pursuing him, which is nice to see, because that wasn't always the case with the previous regime, in my opinion. Scheme alignment. Obviously, the spread offense emphasizes physical receivers who can block and win perimeter jump balls. And I think this is exactly what he does well. I think he'll compete for a starting outside spot at wide receiver or significant rotational role, given his experience and production. We're going to look at the wide receiver room here in a second and kind of try to project where he might land in that room, because it's a crowded room right now. But he's got 1 year left, guys. A guy like this ain't coming with 1 year left. He could have went group of 5. He could have went to Pitt or somewhere else that would maybe promise him more if he didn't feel like he would play a lot and possibly start on this team. So I think that's that's the goal for him. I don't blame him. He's very similar to Justin Smith Brown over the career, right? Who's got over 1,000 yards, several touchdowns over his few years there. So here I've got what I think a best case season for him is going to be, a realistic case, and a worst case. I think, best case scenario, you're going to see him start 10 plus games, catch 50 to 60 balls, have 800 to 1,000 yards receiving with 8 to 10 touchdowns, becoming go-to target in the red zone and on third down. That's all Big 12 potential. Realistically, I think he's probably 30 to 40, 500 to 600 yards, 5 to 7 touchdowns, and he'll be a big red zone guy. I think that's a realistic expectation. Giving his production in the past, size, experience, being that he's only got 1 year left, it's got to happen this year or not at all. Struggles, the worst case scenario is he struggles to adjust to Big 12 speed, and he catches 15 balls for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns on the year, right? So I still think he's going to contribute either way. The only thing you worry about is the adaptation from the D2 to the Big 12. Outside of that, everything else is pretty much like, okay, this is a big get. So he's got to gel with Nico and Max, both, and Jalen. So we got to see that happen. And I think that they'll be able to refine his route running as well, with this staff and Coach Garrett. So that's going to be fun to see that happen in real time. Obviously, let's get to the hot piss meter, which I've changed it. I changed the name of the transfer portal impact meter. I feel like I missed out on an opportunity here because it could have always been this. So for now, we're changing the transfer portal impact meter to the hot piss meter, guys. What does he rank on the hot piss meter for transfers? Well, on a 0 to 50 scale, which is what I do, 5 categories. He's an 8 out of 10 in production. 42 catches, 48 yards, 8 touchdowns in 2024. With a stellar playoff run, shows he's consistent and with his output, and he had some big games, especially against Fair State. Fit, 9 out of 10, man. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. He can block. He can run routes. A big physical wide receiver who can win in contested catch battles. That's exactly what Rich Rodriguez and company need in this offense. Athleticism, I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. He's got good speed, 17.8 yards per catch. 60 yards it seemed like is long. But I don't think he's got elite speed, obviously. I think he can run routes, and I think, I don't know where I would guess. I sometimes I look at his tape and I think, oh, he's like a 4.6 kind of looking guy, 4.5. And then other times I'm like, no, it's just he's got football speed and great routes. It's hard to judge sometimes, especially against the D2 competition. So we'll have to just wait and see. Experience is an 8 out of 10 for me. 28 games, 18 starts, high pressure playoff performances. Even at the D2 level, there's a lot of pressure there. So that brings a ton of experience and value with it. So his upside, I think his upside is 7 out of 10. You got 1 year left, right? There's not 2 years left or 3 years left. So I think he's got a high ceiling if he adapts to the Big 12, but the D2 to FBS jump could limit him. It could, right? So do we need to temper our expectations? I think he's got the physical tools to do this, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. So I've got him at 40.5 out of 50. I think he's a high impact, low risk addition with immediate starter potential through his D2 background and 1 year window. Add some uncertainty to this for me. So why this matters to you guys? Well, immediate impact, I think his experience and size addresses a critical need in the wide receiver room. Coach Rod's vision He's recently said we need to get bigger, faster on the outside. We need to get better at wide receiver, well, and more experienced. So you bring a 1-year veteran in who's got a ton of experience, and he's got local appeal. He's from Pennsylvania. He knows what it means to have Mountaineer pride, which should resonate with Mountaineer Nation. I mean, for God's sake, he's got a Mountaineer jersey on when it looks like he was 10 years old there. That's pretty damn cool. Playoff pedigree. He knows what a good team looks like. He knows what a winning team looks like. And his playoff stats: 27 catches, 487 yards, and 6 touchdowns in only 4 games suggests he thrives in big moments, guys. A trait West Virginia needs in the Big 12. Absolutely. So let's go to the tape. I think that's the next best route to grow. I think. Yeah, let's go to the tape. Let's go to break first. Come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Ramper in this wide receiver room. Stick around. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than, where are we at here? Lost my place. Supply House. Guys, Supply House is where you go for the site made for skilled trades. Your plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help get you the job done right. Plus, with a helpful inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll expect to find whatever you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Do you need help with an order? Supply House offers expert industry support, leading service, so you'll always get to talk to a real person. Trade pros, you looking for an extra edge? Well, what about a hard edge? Their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts for every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantages. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/DM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SDESH-5 for 5% off your first order. That's Supply House. Do it now. Do it today at supplyhouse.com. Crack it doing segment 2 with me, and let's go to the tail of the tape. Let's get some film on Mr. Ramper here, which I think I've showed you guys before. We did a video on him. I want to say, well, on the 2nd should have been the day he was visiting. So let's see. Looks like I got to go to his page first. Apologies. Okay, so we'll share a screen here. Logan Ramper. Okay, so here he is. Obviously, that's the video from the other day that we did. If you haven't seen already, if you're just joining, these are the commitment photos from him. Nice. Love to see the Mountaineer uniform with the Jarrett Brown jersey on. I believe that's who that is. Like to see that. They got the Ren Baker jacket right here. I want that jacket. We have to do something about it, fellas and ladies. So let's go to the tape here. So which one do we want to watch? I think there's 2. One's a little bit longer than the other. Let me see, make sure. So here you see him doing some physical stuff, running, different things there. Here's him deadlifting, which is pretty cool. That must be high school. Here's him in a cuts down. Oh wow, look how much he's grown, guys. This is exactly why he was D2. I'm so glad we landed on this picture. Guys, look at him in this Kutztown. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Is this the kid that can? Is that him? That's not the same person. Total shocking transformation. A shocking transformation. I mean, how tall is he there? 6 feet tall? 170 pounds? To this? A 6'4", 215-pound monster? Holy shit, y'all. Look at that. No wonder. Look at this. Is that the same player? Am I looking at the same guy here? What the hell? I mean, he's growing some facial hair. He definitely put on some muscle. This is a kid, guys. This is exactly who we should be rooting for as West Virginia fans. Somebody that grew up loving West Virginia, that there was no, I mean, obviously he wasn't ready. Look at this. There's no way he was ready to go to D1 out of high school. He worked his ass off for it, and he grew some. That's awesome. Congratulations to you, man. That makes me happy to see. Here he is lifting some weight. Get happy about it. Oh, I better turn that down. I'll get hit. But, I mean, as you can see, here he is lifting some weights on stream. I'm sure he's glad I'm showing this. It's close to 225, I want to say. I'm not exactly sure. Looks like you got a 45, 25, and a 15, maybe. It's hard to tell from this angle. But, yeah, so let's get to the tape, though. That's what we're here for. So there's two different versions, obviously. But I think, both, I think this is the best one to watch. This is the most recent iteration.
Unstoppable in white, wearing number 2.
Unstoppable in white, wearing number 2.
Has been able to figure out a way to slow down Logan Ramper.
Nobody's been able to figure out a way to slow down Logan Ramper.
Over and over again, and he's got excellent hands.
I wanted y'all to hear that because I enjoy what the announcers are saying. So here he is in the very first play in a contested catch situation, and I do believe you see quite well exactly what he does well. So here he is. Watch the adjustment. He gets up in the air before the corner does and makes a soft-handed catch, by the way. Did you see that ball, how it's just stuck in the gloves? I mean, this is what I call soft hands. Look at it, you can just tell with some people they're bobbling it, no, I mean, that's just stick right to the gloves. No issues. No issues at all. Love to see that. And the shove. This is one of my favorite things about him is he's got a really big competitive spirit. Look how much, I mean, that's 6 yards off the DB. What'd he do to get that deep? He shook dude out of his boots, didn't he? To get deep on that one. And he just looks different than all the athletes around him on the field. When I look at him on tape, he's obviously outgrown the D2 level by a large margin here. I mean, that's just what it is. He's better than everybody at D2 level now. So, I mean, look at that. That's an insane play. Are you talking about hurdle from basically a standing position? He didn't even have a chance to do anything yet. Instinctually, he hurdles this guy. That's impressive. There he is, contested catch situation against the slippery rock. He abused number 1 all day, by the way, in that game. He went for $175 in this game. Did you see that route? Beautifully done. Beautifully done here. So here he is at the top of your screen. Love to see that. So here he is right here. I think you'll see him. He'll do a little, not exactly sure what he's faking. I think he might be faking it's some kind of in-breaking route, and he just shakes this kid out of his shoes, catches him watching the quarterback. As you can see, you can't see it great, but the corner's eye is on the quarterback, right? So, oh yeah, see how he gets him? There it is right there. Perfect. So we'll watch it one more time. Watch him stutter, get the safety to commit or the corner to commit, and he's out of there. Boom. Nope. It's if you're even, he's leaving. And then the soft hands. Once again, guys, look how he's catching these balls. No struggle at all. Very sure-handed. Easy done. Easily done. Love to see that too. I really like him, man. I do. Everything I say, I believe. And we'll see. I've never had to. This is like my first time really at this level of projection. Like, there's a lot of these players like Ben Bogle, like him, like Katzer to some extent, where I've had to go out on a limb and say, I think they're going to make an impact. And I can't wait to revisit this. You guys know if they do bad, I'll hear about it from you. Now injuries don't count either way, but some of these guys break out. Trust and believe. We're going to hear me talking about it. He was way deep on everybody there, and I know we've seen this tape once before, but I think it's worth watching again. Did you see that? That was against Fair State when he scored the third touchdown. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Love to see that. He was going for 4 right there. Number 22 got abused. Gosh. And here's what I love about him, guys. Every single time he makes a play on somebody, they hear about it. They absolutely hear about it. I love it. I think you got to have guys like that. And that's just wide receivers by nature, really, right? I mean, they're going to let you hear about it. Stiff arm. This is a great play made by him. And look how much bigger and stronger he is. I mean, he doesn't almost acknowledge this kid's presence on him. Look at this. Watch where this kid wraps his arms around him. It's not even like he's there. It doesn't even affect his movement. Like it's nothing. Who was that? Too little. Yeah, exactly. He's too little. Just like he's too little. He's got some swag to him, and look, it's going to rub some fans the wrong way, probably a couple. Gosh, my neck's about to pop here. But I like it. I think it's necessary. David Sills had it too. And maybe of all the players that we could say he compares to, there's my favorite one right there. If I could have made this the thumbnail, I would have. That cracks me up every time. I want to watch it again. It cracks me up, man. This kid's got swag to him. He's got some game to him. And let's watch this other one really quick. Let's see. We're at 27. Let's go to break really quick. We'll come right back. Actually, we're going to call an audible. I'm going to go over the portal people we brought in and try to make sense of it, because I don't know how to make sense of it, to be honest with you, if I can get the right screen. We'll be right back. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. Guys, have you ever looked at your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial control center where you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. Stop managing your money. Start building your wealth. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money and use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, LOCKEDONCollege, half off your very first year. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining. If you could, before you bounce out of here, like the video. I would appreciate that very much. Right now, the algorithm on YouTube is putting a lot of stock in the likes. So while you're watching this, if you could just move your finger or your thumb or your mouse clicker over just really quick and hit the like, it would do me a big favor. If you're ever on X, come on over and subscribe after the fact and say, hey. And don't forget to turn those notifications on. That way, every time I go live, because it's 7 days a week here. We go live 7 days a week. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Raven. The Discord link is in the chat. And I've given them several different hits this week about several different things. They knew about a lot of this intel ahead of time. So I posted a few things today in there that if you were watching, like, you'd have knew ahead of time on. The basketball commitment hit me out of nowhere. I had no clue that was happening. Maybe there were people that did, but it totally missed me. But let's get to this really quick. I wanted to do this before we left out of here. So this is just the transfer receivers, guys. It started with Oron Singleton, then it was Bowie from Jack State, then it was Cyrus Traw from Youngstown State. Then you got Cam Vaughn, obviously from Jack State, Jeff Weimer from Idaho State, Christian Hamilton from North Carolina, Justin Smith-Brown from South Carolina State, Jordan McCants from Jack State, now Logan Ramper from D2 Slippery Rock. So, obviously the clear cut number one wide receiver of the portal room is for now Cam Vaughn, right? That's everybody that's anybody would say that for now. It may not turn out to be that way. Maybe Christian Hamilton grows into what he was supposed to be, or maybe Logan Ramper continues to ascend on the level that he's been on. But this is a really interesting room, guys. We're gonna have to, there's so many videos we can do where I can just take this one room wide receivers, break down each player, and talk about why they have a legit shot to contribute, start, play, or be benched. Because there are a few guys that I'm not huge fans of. But if I go back and watch like the Jeffrey Weimer tape, for instance, he's impressive too. I really do believe there's a reason West Virginia has the number 11th rated portal class in Rivals. People were telling me I sprinkled too much sugar on some of these commitments and that I'm too positive. Although I do highlight weaknesses, it's just I choose to be happy and positive about it. Yes, but I do highlight weaknesses and what could go wrong. I think it's just people forget to acknowledge me for that, which is whatever. But in the case of you go look at Jeff Weimer's tape. It's very impressive. It is. Or if you go look at, good God, if you go look at Oron Singleton's tape, or how about Cam Vaughn's tape? Good God, Cam Vaughn's tape. There's a couple guys on this list that are extraordinarily electric. Cam Vaughn, Oron Singleton are both 4.4, 4.3 guys. That's not an exaggeration. So somebody's asking about the basketball player. It's a South Carolina transfer, 40% from three. I did a video on it if you want to check it out. I did it just a couple hours ago. Great video. I feel like I did a good job on that one. But yeah, he's a good player. His name is Morris. And I don't, I'd have to listen to it a few more times. It's going to take me a few to get that one right. The last name. It sounds African, but he's from Finland. So I don't exactly know what to call him. I don't know. Probably anything but late for dinner, I would say. So I appreciate you guys for joining in on this one. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, like I said around here. And the big one, guys, please click share. Copy and the URL, paste it into X, YouTube, or Facebook. I went and checked before this one. I hadn't seen anybody share the last video. So I'm not saying anybody didn't. I just hadn't seen it anywhere shared. So if you get a chance, please share this one out. It's the best way to help me grow. It's the best way to just help me in general. I don't even want money, You could just share the video out with other people. That's like the biggest way to help out. So I appreciate you guys for making Locked On West Virginia your very first listen. If you could do me a big favor, I didn't realize I had this wrong background up most of the time. This is what it was supposed to say. Logan Ramper can play. Wide receiver room analysis, final thoughts. So we're in the final thoughts. We're in final thoughts already. So, oh well. Sometimes I get too excited. But I think, like I said, this has been fun covering all this in the portal. We're not done yet. I'm here. I'm told another O lineman probably could be committing here. Maybe it'll happen today, and maybe it's already happened since I've been on here. Who knows? It's literally minute to minute on this. But thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, guys, and being part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. But if you could do me another favor, the NFL Draft channel, guys, check them out. Your second listen, Damian Parson, Keith Sanchez, do it big over there. Your favorite collegiate players are going to get ready for the next level, and they're the guys to get you there. Get their latest draft rankings, rumors, and news every day. And find them on Locked On NFL Draft or on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. And do that today, please. All right, guys. Logan Ramper's a Mountaineer. Glad we could talk about it. Glad we could break him down. I'm extraordinarily excited about him, and I'll be excited to see where he goes this year as a Mountaineer. Hopefully you will too. That's all I got, guys. I'll see you if we have another commitment or something to talk about, I'll be here 7 days a week. We're here. So that's a big thing for me. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.